They told you to just bench press if you want a bigger chest. And that's exactly why your chest still looks flat. See? I get it. Chest day is sacred. It's the day you show up, stack the plates, and move serious weight. But what if I told you the reason your chest isn't growing isn't because you're not training hard enough? It's because you're not training smart enough. Most guys walk into the gym thinking they're doing it right. They hit the flat bench, maybe throw in a machine fly or two, chase the pump, and call it a day. And yeah, that works. For a while. But then it stops. The progress slows. The upper chest stays thin, the lower chest sags, and your shirt still folds awkwardly at the collar. Sound familiar? Here's the part no one tells you. Your chest isn't just one big muscle. It's a set of muscle fibers that run in different directions, across 3 major regions: upper, middle, and lower. And if you're not intentionally targeting each of those with the right movements, you're leaving gains on the table. Every single time. I used to think I was doing everything right. I was lifting heavy, staying consistent, eating clean. But then I saw a photo from the back. Wide shoulders, solid arms, and a front that looked like it skipped gym day entirely. That picture hit me harder than any workout ever could, because that's when I realized something was off. Not with my discipline, but with my approach. The truth is, a well-developed chest isn't built on effort alone. It's built on understanding the mechanics, knowing which exercises activate which fibers, how to create maximum tension, and when to hit each part of the chest for optimal growth. That's how you go from flat to full, from average to aesthetic. So if you're tired of training hard and seeing little to no change, if you've got the will but not the blueprint, then this is the video you've been needing. I'm breaking down the only 6 chest exercises you actually need for complete development. No fluff, no filler, just results. And no, you don't need to do them all in one session. You just need to know where they fit and how to use them like tools, not toys. Because when you train with strategy, your chest doesn't just grow, it transforms. 1. The forgotten game changer, pullover. You probably never thought of the pullover as a chest builder. Most people don't. In fact, a lot of guys either skip it or throw it in randomly at the end of a workout, hoping it might do something. But here's the truth. When used correctly, the pullover can be one of the most powerful tools in your chest training arsenal. Unlike most chest movements that rely on pushing, the pullover is a pulling exercise. That simple shift changes everything. It creates an insane stretch across the rib cage and chest. The kind of stretch that triggers deep muscle activation in places your bench press never reaches. You're not just moving weight, you're expanding your chest frame. And let's talk aesthetics. Ever seen those guys with that crazy 3D side chest look? That's not just from presses. The pullover hits the lower chest and even the serratus anterior. That saw-like muscle along your ribs that adds detail and depth to your upper body. It's the secret sauce behind that armor plate look. But here's the catch. It only works if you respect the form. That means keeping your elbows slightly bent and stable throughout the movement. Lower the weight in an arc behind your head until you feel that deep stretch, but never to the point of joint pain. Control is everything here. If you're swinging the weight or letting your elbows flare out, you're not training your chest. You're risking injury. One underrated element of the pullover is breathing. When you lower the weight, take a deep breath. Expand your rib cage. Feel that stretch. Then exhale as you bring it back. Done right, this movement doesn't just build muscle. It opens up your posture and makes you look wider and more powerful even at rest. This is why the pullover works best at the end of your chest workout, when the muscles are pre-fatigued and ready to be stretched to their limits. That's when it delivers its knockout punch, not just finishing your session, but expanding your potential. But that's just the beginning. Because most people completely misunderstand how to create true middle chest thickness. And the next exercise will fix that for good. 2. The underrated sculptor, dumbbell fly. If your chest looks decent from the front but disappears from the side, here's your problem. You're not stretching the muscle enough. And that's where the dumbbell fly comes in. This isn't just a finisher. When used right, it's a sculpting tool that can completely change the shape of your chest. Most guys rely too heavily on presses. Pressing is great, but it mainly targets the contraction phase of a movement. The fly? It attacks the stretch, the phase that creates the most micro tears in the muscle fibers. That stretch tension is what builds new growth, especially in the middle chest, where most guys lack real density. The trick is in how you do it. Start with a slight bend in your elbows and keep that angle locked through the entire movement. Open your arms like you're hugging a massive tree, not like you're flapping wings. Feel the stretch deep in the center of your chest. That's where the magic happens. Then squeeze back to the top, not with your arms, but by bringing your pecs together. And forget going heavy. The second you load up too much, you start cheating, shortening the range of motion, swinging the weights, or overloading your joints. The fly isn't about ego. It's about control, tension, and time under load. Go slow, stay in the zone, and keep the tension locked on your chest. You can do flies with dumbbells, cables, or machines. Each one has its benefits. Dumbbells give you freedom and full range. Cables add constant tension. Machines offer safety and control. Switch them up every few weeks to keep your muscles guessing and your progress steady. And here's the real power move. Use flies right after a pressing movement. Your chest is already fatigued, which makes every rep of the fly hit harder. This combo creates serious mechanical stress and metabolic fatigue. A 1-2 punch your middle chest can't ignore. But there's a reason flies aren't enough on their own. Because if you want true size and strength, you need to master what's coming next. 3. The power move, flat bench press. This is the lift that built legends. The flat bench press has been a staple in chest training for decades. And for good reason. When done right, it delivers raw power, size, and that dense, full look right through the middle of your chest. But when done right is the key phrase here. Too many lifters treat the bench press like a test of ego, not a tool for growth. They load the bar up, bounce it off their chest, flare their elbows, and call it a day. That's not training. That's just showing off. And, ironically, those same guys are the ones wondering why their chest hasn't changed in months. The real strength of the flat bench press lies in its ability to move heavy loads while still allowing full range of motion. You can progressively overload like crazy with this movement as long as you keep your form locked in. That means feet planted, shoulder blades pulled back, chest up, and lowering the bar under control to nipple level. Not your neck and not your belly. And let's talk about grip. Too narrow, and you're training triceps. Too wide, and you're wrecking your shoulders. Find that sweet spot, just slightly wider than shoulder width, where you can feel your chest doing the heavy lifting. Then focus on squeezing your pecs at the top, not just pushing the bar away, but contracting the muscle on every rep. Whether you use a barbell, dumbbells, or a machine, each variation has its place. Barbells for max strength, dumbbells for better stretch and balance, machines for control and safety. Rotate through them based on your goal, your experience level, and how your joints feel. And here's a golden rule. Never treat the flat bench like a warm-up or an afterthought. It's not just a strength test, it's a builder. Make it the centerpiece of your middle chest day and pair it with a quality isolation move like the fly to cover both strength and shape. But heavy pressing is only part of the story. To get that full upper chest shelf, the kind that makes your t-shirts fit like armor, you need to change the angle. And that's exactly what we're doing next. 4. The upper chest builder, incline bench press. If your chest looks full from the front but caves in around the collarbone, there's a clear culprit. You've been ignoring your upper chest. And nothing builds that upper shelf like the incline bench press. It's not just a variation. It's a necessity if you want that complete, balanced look. Here's what makes the incline bench special. It changes the angle of push just enough to shift the tension toward the clavicular head of your pecs. That hard-to-hit upper portion that gives your chest that elevated, squared-off appearance. It's the difference between having a flat chest and one that looks built, even under a hoodie. But again, form is everything. Set the bench at around 30 to 45 degrees. Any higher, and you start turning it into a shoulder press. Retract your shoulder blades, plant your feet, and keep your chest up. Control the descent, and don't stop short. Lower the bar or dumbbells until your arms are at least parallel to the floor to maximize stretch and tension. One of the smartest things you can do with this movement is cycle through equipment. Use a barbell when you're chasing raw strength. Switch to dumbbells when you want more range and stabilization. Or hit the incline machine for controlled reps and higher volume without sacrificing form when fatigue sets in. Another pro tip? Don't chase numbers here like you would on the flat bench. Your upper chest isn't as strong, and that's fine. Focus on clean reps, strong mind-muscle connection, and slow, deliberate movement. This isn't about showing off. It's about sculpting. When you commit to training the incline consistently, you start seeing it in photos, in the mirror, and in the way your shirts fit. That upper shelf rounds out your torso and makes your entire upper body look thicker and more powerful. But here's where most lifters tap out too soon. And that's why the next move might just be the missing link in your upper chest routine. 5. The bodyweight secret. Decline push-up. Think push-ups are just for beginners? Think again. The decline push-up, when performed correctly, is a powerhouse for upper chest development. And the best part? You don't need a gym, just grit and proper form. What makes the decline push-up so effective is the angle. By elevating your feet, you shift the workload toward the upper pecs, similar to the incline bench, but with your body as the resistance. This different direction of push creates a fresh stimulus for the muscle, which is exactly what you need to break through plateaus. Execution is key here. Feet elevated on a bench or box, hands slightly wider than shoulder width, body forming a straight diagonal line from heels to head. As you lower yourself, control the descent. Don't rush it. Let your chest lead, keeping your core tight and hips in line. At the bottom, your chest should hover just above the ground before driving back up with force. Even though it's body weight, this move isn't easy, especially if you do it right. And when it becomes easy, that's your cue to level up. Add a weighted vest, slow down your reps, or elevate your feet even more. These progressions turn a simple push-up into a serious upper chest burner. But most people mess this up by letting their hips sag or shrugging their shoulders. That takes tension away from the chest and dumps it on your spine or traps. Keep everything locked in and focused, because when done right, this move hits differently. Use this after a heavier press, like the incline bench. With the upper pecs already fatigued, The decline push-up becomes a high-tension finisher that pushes the muscle past its comfort zone. That's where growth happens, in those final shaky reps when you're tempted to quit. And now, we're headed to the final move, the one that finishes your chest, like a signature on a masterpiece. Ready? 6. The finisher, high pulley crossover. You've hit the heavy presses. You've carved the shape with flies and bodyweight moves. Now it's time for precision. The high pulley crossover is where you bring it all together, targeting the lower chest with laser focus and giving your chest that clean, finished look. Most exercises push weight away from your body. This one pulls your arms in and down, activating the lower chest fibers like nothing else. That diagonal movement, from high to low, is what makes this exercise so effective. You're not just working hard, you're working smart, following the natural fiber orientation of your lower pecs. Start between two high pulleys with one foot forward for balance. Grab the handles, keep a slight bend in your elbows, and sweep your hands downward in an arc, meeting in front of your waist. Don't lock out your arms or shrug your shoulders. This is about smooth, chest-driven movement, not momentum or brute force. The beauty of cables is the constant tension. Your muscles don't get a break. That means more time under load, more blood flow, and more stimulus for growth and definition. It's like wringing out your pecs rep after rep. And that burn you feel? That's progress. Too many lifters treat this like an afterthought, rushing through sloppy reps with too much weight. Don't be that guy. Lighten the load, slow it down, and own every inch of the movement. That stretch at the top and squeeze at the bottom, that's where the real magic happens. Use this at the end of your session, when your chest is already fatigued. It's not about moving the stack. It's about finishing the job with precision. And when you look in the mirror after a few weeks of doing it right, you'll see the difference. The tight lower line, the separation, the complete physique. Now that you've got the 6 key exercises dialed in, the question becomes, how do you put them together for maximum results? That's exactly what we're tackling next. Build with purpose, not just effort. You've just seen the blueprint. Not a bunch of random exercises, but a strategic system to build a complete, defined, and powerful chest. These 6 movements aren't just good, they're essential. Together, they cover every angle, every fiber, every inch of your chest, from collarbone to sternum. And here's the real takeaway. Growth doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing what matters, consistently, intentionally, and with purpose. When you stop guessing and start training with a plan, your chest doesn't just change, your whole approach to the gym changes. You stop wasting time. You stop plateauing. You start seeing progress that actually shows up in the mirror and in the way your shirts fit, the way you carry yourself, the way you feel. So the question isn't if this will work. It's whether you'll commit to applying it. Will you actually structure your week around these moves? Will you drop the fluff and focus on what matters? Because the truth is, most guys won't. Most will keep doing what's familiar. But you've come this far. That means something. That means you're ready to train with precision, not just passion. What's the one thing you're changing in your training after this? If this video gave you at least one aha moment, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep building this together. And if you're serious about transforming your physique, not just your chest, stick around. This channel is your new home base for no BS, science-backed, results-driven content.